We're happy to have Mindy Derr in with us on Back Nine Report. There was a study done several months ago that we talked about here. Medical professionals have realized that there's a therapeutic aspect to golf, but Mindy has known this for a long time. Matter of fact, back in 1989, she began her program of therapeutic use for golf. And Mindy, welcome to Back Nine Report.
Thank you. Good morning. Glad to be here. Thank you.
You have developed programs and organized events to educate and introduce people to understand the importance of golf to overall wellness, and also as a therapy for people that maybe have some poor health, or maybe they can improve their situation using golf therapy. Tell us a little bit more about that. Explain that to us.
Okay, sure. Well, I began because of my dad. We were from just south of Cleveland area, and we grew up with the game. And he soon retired years ago, and abruptly he could not walk or speak. And he was diagnosed with primary lateral sclerosis. And about that time, I was working for another nonprofit, and I kept thinking about therapy of golf. How can I help my dad and possibly others? And so what I did, I just began by researching. I quit my job. My background's in nonprofit, so it just, when the teacher's ready, is that right? The student will appear, or when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. So I started the nonprofit. I named it For Hope. And in the meantime, I started to shadow a recreation therapist. And I had heard about other LPGA and some PGA teaching professionals helping people with disabilities through the game of golf. My background is communications from Ohio State. And I just felt that, I could do something. And I grew up with golf. I'm not a great golfer, but that I could help people ambulate, help them walk, just put a putter in their hand, help them swing until I figured the rest out. And my first referrals, and most over the time of the organization, have been stroke patients, head injured, MS, and miscellaneous health conditions. But it was apparent right away to me that if somebody just gave a darn about people who are in rehab or outpatient, and then once they get home, the hope, what do? They need an activity more than likely that they have loved before. And we have just found, you put a golf club in somebody's hand, whether new to the game or not so new, it gives them confidence, helps with balance, helps with social interaction, and it gives them confidence.
You make a really good point there. Everybody thinks about golf. They think about hitting 300-yard drives and Bryson DeChambeau, and you don't have to do that, do you? Just
No.
someone who's struggling with health or physical issues, even if they make a 5-foot putt or a 2-foot putt, they get that feeling of satisfaction and accomplishment, and then they can expand on that. Isn't that right?
Well, that's exactly right. And the one thing that we also witnessed was that the care partners, the wives, the son, the daughters who would bring their dad or their mom out, they could not believe the difference in the improvement, I would say, for joy and hope, because when you do rehab, inpatient or outpatient, it isn't about 300 yards, like you said. It's about being able to walk, bear weight, transfer, movement of the arms if you can, and thinking of processing and focusing on the task at hand.
Your program has been nationally recognized, and you, I think, were the first to have it accepted as a therapeutic program by a major medical system. Is that right?
Well, thank you. Yes, from a small grassroots program, yes, to be absorbed. There's the similar program you may know, Challenge Golf in Akron, that is in conjunction with Edwin Shaw Rehab. And that was founded about the same time, but the hospital had seen that vision versus I began with my dad. And then I came back to Columbus and started all over working with supporters, the Memorial Tournament, Scott's Company. And I have learned so much about collaboration, fundraising, and we worked with uh, the three top hospital systems in Columbus. And then gradually Ohio Health took us over.
Are you looking to expand your program on a national basis or to other states around Ohio, or are you just pretty much focusing in Ohio right now?
Okay, so now the program For Hope belongs to Ohio Health, and we're shut down due to COVID. And so my focus moving forward is for me to share the story and speak to the golf industry and healthcare industry about wellness and golf and its direct lead to recovery. I had mentioned to you earlier this morning, so I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 2 years ago. I could not walk. I was in the hospital. The doctors said, yeah, we're going to get you walking again. And I said, but am I going to play golf? And they said, sure. Yes, Mindy, you will. So it was really hard for me in the outpatient with my balance. And I understand now the depression and isolation. And I knew then that beyond For Hope, which is now belongs to Ohio Health, that my mission now is to help organizations in the golf industry as a speaker and consultant to realize the greatness of golf.
You have received some really wonderful testimonials. I was looking a couple of people that I know fairly well. Dr. Michael Hertzen, who is a well-known golf architect, but a lot of great golf courses around. Mindy has been a tireless, selfless, and caring crusader for people with disabilities, and her focus on golf as a tool to improve the physical, cognitive, emotional, and social well-being has proven effective. I'm proud of her and For Hope, what you have accomplished, and to be a small part of your legacy. Also, Dennis Walters, who was recently, a year or so ago, inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame for his adapting to his physical disabilities that he had, and never being able to walk and still putting on golf shows and doing clinics. I have known Mindy for 30 years, and I've always had great admiration for her kindness, her love of golf, and her passion to help others. Mindy and I were always able to share a bond born by our love and relationship with our fathers. She created For Hope to help her dad, and my dad was an invaluable part of my career. So those are pretty powerful testimonials there. You've obviously been doing your homework, doing a lot of great work. Can you give us one example of someone that maybe you worked with that maybe they had some despair and they didn't think they were going to be able to do anything, but you were able to show them a few things, and they've gone on and taken that, and it's really helped them get back to some kind of a life that they can enjoy?
Sure. Thanks, Fred, for asking. Well, a couple people come to mind. William, he had a brain injury at work. He had fallen, and he came into For Hope in 2007. And today, through Ohio Health For Hope, he continues to play. We talk about once a week. He had lost his hope and his way, and he calls me every week, Mindy, I live for golf. And so we share that. And he's able to walk a lot better, cognition. I know his family, and his daughter's a doctor, so she calls me from time to time and said, how's he doing? And he's doing well. And my other great friend, Kathleen, she had lost her arm. Horrible. And she was a tennis player, and she never thought of golf. And suddenly she was driving by Muirfield. This was years ago, and she saw people playing golf, and she thought, what about the game? So she called, and kind of the rest is history, because Kathleen, losing her arm, she couldn't play tennis. She could play golf very well, one-armed. And then ultimately, and she's testimonial on my website as well, Kathleen was able to get a job in helping people with disabilities. And she said, Mindy, that whole thing of golf got me to take a step further and to work part-time helping place people with disabilities into jobs.
You have to share as well. I am a golf instructor, and some of the most satisfying times that I've had teaching golf is the people that have had physical disabilities and say, well, I don't think I can do this. I have these
Right.
issues. And you say, well, let's try some things here. Let's look at things. And when you get them to where they're able to hit that ball and make that first
Oh.
really great shot, and the eyes light up and the smile is so big, you can't, that's not about money. It's that feeling that you get that this person now has seen something they're able to do, and it helps their mental fitness so much.
Right.
And so it affects their whole life. Just hitting a little round white ball can make a great difference. And of course, we all know about PGA Hope and what great work they're doing with military veterans.
Right.
You have someone there not too far from you. I don't know if you've met Renee Powell up at Canton. She does a wonderful job with her programs there. And so there's a lot of different segments working with people with physical disabilities. You've been able to take your program, get it into a major health system so it works. And so this is great. If our listeners want to contact you with questions or information, or maybe want to have you come in and speak or talk, how do they get a hold of you?
Thanks, Fred. Well, they can always check my website at mindyderr, DERR.com. And gladly they can have my email, mindyderr@att.net.
That's Mindy, MINDYDERR.att.net.